Hello and welcome. This is Vince Dowd, the founder of HijackedMind.com and Serene Investor, where we help people reclaim their power and unleash their inner alchemist to develop a healthy, authentic, rich, and fuller life. Before we start, I do need to give a disclaimer for legal purposes. I do not provide personal investment advice, and I am not a qualified and licensed investment advisor. All information found here, including any ideas, opinions, views, predictions, forecasts, commentaries, or suggestions expressed or implied herein are for informational, entertainment, and educational purposes only, and should not be construed as personal investment advice. Conduct your own due diligence or consult a licensed financial advisor or broker before making any and all investment decisions. Any investments, trades, speculations, or decisions made on the basis of any information expressed or implied herein are committed to at your own risk, financial and or otherwise. Okay, I wanted to share with you what's setting up here on Bitcoin. So if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm a trader, and so I've looked at the markets for a long time. What I see here, this is the the 50 period moving average. The pink down here is the 200, and this shorter term moving average is the 9 period. So Bitcoin usually follows its 9 period and will come down and touch its 50 period from time to time, which it just did about 4 or 5 days ago. What's set up though here is called a head and shoulders pattern. And I want to draw it out for you so you can see kind of what the psychology is and to be able to watch this to mitigate risk. So let's switch over to the other browser. Okay, so what a head and shoulder pattern is this. When any asset goes up, it'll go through a series of highs and lows. People are buying it, and then people will take profit. It will dip down. That's called a retracement, and then it will turn and go back up as buyers come back in. That's called a pivot, and it goes to a higher high. This is called an uptrend, a series of higher highs and higher lows. You can see as we have these higher highs and higher lows created, we have, I'm going to call this a higher low, and higher low, right? We have a higher high, and it continues. So this is your typical uptrend that you see on Bitcoin for quite some time. But what we've just created right now is a higher high, and then when it came down and it touched the 50 period moving average, it came back up again, but it didn't get as high before it pivoted. So we have this higher high, and we have a higher high here, which is the head. Now we have a lower high. So what we have is called a head and shoulders pattern. If we think of this as the left shoulder, this is the head, and this would be the right shoulder, we have a setup that oftentimes is seen at the top or the bottom of markets. So the way we draw this out is we take our left shoulder right here, the neckline, and we take our right shoulder, the neckline, and we draw that neckline. So let's say that's the neckline right there. I'll call that neck. Now what happens is this is setting up to go down. If this breaks through this line, that's a very bearish scenario, which means it's potentially going to start going down now. Oftentimes when it breaks through, it will come back up and retest that neckline to see whether or not it's a valid break to the downside or whether or not it's just a fake out and will continue going higher. But I would say if this breaks down through this neckline and then you get a second chance here, this for sure is starting a downtrend with a series of lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. So this is what we're looking for right here. This formation here where it breaks through this neckline. Maybe I would look at exiting the Bitcoin here, or if you didn't do it then, if it does this second chance, you'll have one more chance before it starts to go down and create the downtrend. So that is what we're looking at setting up here. It has not broken yet, but I drew this neckline based off the low. I'm going to blow this up for you. Based off the lows here, you can see these spikes down. It shot to a new high, came back down to the 50, and then shot back up, but it could not get the momentum to get as high as it was before. So that's very ominous. Plus it's using the 9 period moving average as a resistance instead of support. So right now this is really setting up for a negative downward move. You could even draw this trend line. This is conservative. If you wanted to do it aggressive, you would draw it off the neck, which is the lowest part of this formation, which would be that spike to the 50, which then would mean that you're going to wait to get out of Bitcoin until it crosses this line, you know, right here. Let me get my arrow. You're going to wait until it gets to the point where it crosses the moving average and this trend line, and then it will head down to this area, the 200 period moving average or this long-term trend line that I drew. So again, it might not happen. It could start just to consolidate sideways, but this is potentially what could happen. It'll break down, hit that 200 again, and then bounce back up. Now, when it does this, since it held the, the 50-day moving average, this red one here, if it does that, then what happens is potentially it could stay right around here and hold its area. But it's just an area that you want to be cautious with if you have a lot of profits, because it could start the beginning of a downtrend with this currency pair. So watch this. I can take this trend line here, put it off the top, and then off this top, that's the beginning of the new trend. So it potentially is on its way back down right now, and that's what I wanted to share with you. So keep that in mind, and I hope you enjoyed the video. By the way, if you do enjoy the video, please subscribe, share it, comment. We do appreciate it. Remember, there is a war in progress, and the battlefield is your mind. Stop the hijackers and reclaim the power. You are the wealth you've been waiting for. Thanks again. My name is Vince, and we'll talk to you soon.